Battle Chasers Nightwar pays homage to and builds on old-school anime-inspired JRPGs, in the same way that Pillars of Eternity did for top-down isometric Infinity Engine games of the 90s. There are a lot of familiar ideas in its turn-based combat and diverse, beautifully drawn overworld, but enough fresh and modern ideas are sprinkled in to keep things feeling up-to-date and interesting. The environments and characters of Battle Chasers would fit in right alongside classic fantasy anime like Record of Lodoss War and Slayers. Each party member, enemy, and shopkeeper presents a strong silhouette, vibrant colors, and lots of attention to small details. Mechanically, the influence from late 90s Final Fantasy and its ilk is clear, though with enough surprises and new ideas to let it sidestep a lot of retro JRPG problems. Combat revolves around the concept of Overcharge, a resource that is generated by weaker attacks and sits on top of your mana bar. It can be used in place of mana for any ability, and certain abilities reward you for spending a lot of Overcharge at once. It adds an interesting tactical tempo to action choices and resource management, cleverly integrating a concept from action RPGs like Diablo into a turn-based system. You have to know when to be conservative and build up Overcharge before cutting loose, and when to pull out all the stops and burn through your mana to get the job done. What initially seems like a fairly conventional 40-ish hour fantasy stock plot of hunting down a big bad magic guy surprised me with some twists and nuance in the final act. However, my biggest criticism, and where Battle Chasers falls flattest compared to its genre influences, is that there are very few moments that present emotional stakes for any of the main heroes. The most you ever even see them interact is in bits of idle banter while resting at an inn. The few character-specific side quests rarely force a character to change or make an interesting choice. There are no melodramatic anime love triangles, and hints dropped about certain characters' pasts never pay off. All the party members are likable and memorable, but most are fairly two-dimensional, and they don't really grow, evolve, or face personal adversity throughout this tale. There's also definitely room for a bit more polish. I ran into a few bothersome bugs, the worst of which being an infrequent lockup when a party member was knocked out by a damage over time ability on the last round of combat. In these cases, I had to force quit and pick up for my last autosave. I also switched to a controller about 4 hours in, as the interface isn't especially responsive to mouse inputs. Even so, Battle Chasers combat scratches the JRPG itch, even if the storytelling and character development leave a fair bit to be desired. For more excellent RPGs, check out our reviews of Divinity Original Sin 2, Monster Hunter Stories, and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.